Fly Free Sports. Well, I know, like I said on my last video, I've been out of town for the last couple weeks. So a lot of people may have noticed I didn't do a Giants recap of week 4 and week 5 against Seattle and Miami. I was out of town, so I was obviously unable to do so. But just to kind of catch things up a little bit, man, kind of summarize the last couple weeks as a fucking Giants fan. Disgusting. Just all around disgusting, man. From the penalties, the missed tackles, the errors, the just horrid O line play, bad quarterback play, bad safety play, bad corner play, bad linebacker play, line play on the defensive line. I mean, what can you say? Bad coaching. Brian Dable hasn't been Brian Dable of last year, coach of the year. Brian Dable, Wink Martindale. You really can't blame him too much for the Miami game, but uh, outside of that, he's been bad. Mike Kafka, he might be on the verge of losing his job after this year because the offense has been probably the most inept offense in the NFL. That kind of summarizes where we've been over the last 2 weeks. But on an individual game basis, the Seahawks game, that was just a fucking dumpster fire. Like, what can I even say about that game other than throw the whole fucking team away, man? It's just quite that fucking simple. I think we allowed 11 sacks in that game. Some ridiculous shit like that. That's not even counting the pressures and hurries and shit like that. No run game. Just awful fucking turnover in the red zone by Daniel Jones when we were trying to climb back into the game. Just putrid shit, man. Just all the way around. Like, there's nobody that's exempt from blame for any of this shit, man. Like, I know our offensive line has been bad, but at the same time, Daniel Jones hasn't been good either. It just is what it is. I fuck with Daniel Jones. I would like to have Daniel Jones back next year if we can somehow get this O line together. Because I think Daniel Jones is broken, man. I think his mental clock is all fucked up. I think he rushes passes now because he doesn't think that he has any time, and he's right. You know what I mean? But I think that's just these are just the consequences of having a shell shock quarterback, man. He's really shell shocked right now, and who the fuck could blame him? Evan Neal. I tried to hold off calling him a bust for as long as I could, but I think he is who he is. He's probably a fucking bust at right tackle. Maybe we could try to shoot him over the right guard next season, but these adjustments have to be made. I know this past week Daniel Jones was injured against Miami in another fucking debacle of a game. Got smoked by the Dolphins. I mean, we made a game out of it in the first half. We were only trailing by 7 going into halftime, but there was never a time where I felt like we were going to win that game. Like, even when Pinnock ran the pick six in at the end of the half, even then I kind of still knew like this is just a matter of time before Miami gets rolling and we're down a few scores, and that eventually happened. And like I said, no run game, and Daniel Jones eventually ended up getting hurt. Like, this nigga's getting jumped on like Andrew Luck used to get jumped on. I'm surprised like he hasn't gotten hurt earlier. Just horrible, horrible shit, man. Like, hopefully he don't fucking retire. Who the fuck could blame him if he does? The defense played a little bit better in that Miami game. Like I said, they kept us around for as long as they could. But if your offense isn't moving the ball, sustaining drives, and putting up points, then eventually your defense is going to tire out, man. That's just how it is with any defense in the NFL. We know how this shit go. We've been watching NFL football for a long time, and just football in general, man. Offense has to sustain drives so the defense can, get their shit together, get rest, or get the legs back. You know, um, so it's kind of hard to fault the defense for the Miami game. Although, all these losses have been a fucking collective effort by everybody on the team. Just nobody's exempt, like I said before. Just horrible all the way around. It's turning into one of them seasons that I just never predicted. Like it's looking at the draft in October time. Like that's fucking scary for a team that I had super high hopes for, as I said on my Giants preview video before the season. But just complete letdown on all levels. Special teams is god awful. I forgot to even mention them in the Seattle game. My goodness, like I don't know, like how is your special teams that bad? Like we make so many mistakes on special teams that it's just like it just negates anything that we could do offensively and defensively. Not that we do much offensively, but we're terrible on all three phases, man. Like it's just no way around it. I don't know what has to change, but something has to change. A lot of these guys, I don't feel like are giving effort. Just a number of guys I'm disappointed in. The Xavier McKinney, like just don't know what the fuck he doing this year. Kayvon Thibodeau has actually played a little better over the last 2 weeks. Dexter Lawrence, is still good. He's just not having the same impact he was last year, but you can't really blame Dexter Lawrence. I mean, he's getting double teamed and guys are all over him, man. Pause. Uh Leonard Williams disappeared. I don't know where the fuck he is. You don't even hear his name on Sundays anymore. He makes no plays. Bobby Okereke, he just big pickup in the offseason, hasn't done much. There's nothing really positive to say about any of these guys. I guess Deontay Banks has been all right. Trey Hawkins has been all right. I know he got benched a week or two ago because I guess they were saying he wasn't giving the maximum effort or whatever, but he's a rookie and he's probably played better than 90% of our fucking defense, besides, Tyreek Hill just floating on him in the last game. I don't know what the fuck we were playing cover zero for against the Dolphins, but that's a whole nother story. Wink, you on the hook for that. Uh what else, man? I mean, there's really not much else to say. I mean, I guess Saquon Barkley will be back soon, but even when that nigga was out there, we were still getting smacked up. Like, we're not about to act like he about to come back and play the savior. We lost 40-0 against the Cowboys with him on the field. We were down 20-0 with him on the field against Arizona. I mean, it's getting to a point where a lot of these guys are gonna have to go, man, just for the sake of the rebuild, man. Just for the sake of the rebuild. A lot of these guys gonna have to go, man. Guys that I actually wanted to give contract extensions to, I'm kind of up in the air, like McKinney. I mentioned him before. Don't know if I'm really on board with that anymore, man. It's just these guys are fucking awful, man. Nobody deserves anything, honestly. Just look like shit. And then they complain about the fans all the time, like we out there playing, like nigga do better. Like just that simple. Fans don't boo players that play well or give effort. It just doesn't happen. So these guys got to make up in their mind that they actually want to play some football at some point this season. Like, because right now we in them sweepstakes, and you know them sweepstakes I'm talking about. That USC, yeah, number 13. So I doubt we get that high of a pick. I don't think we lose that many games. I think we'll win at least like 4 or 5 games. It's kind of hard to see that right now with the way we playing, but I just don't see us getting number one. If we did, cool. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind taking Caleb because generational talents. I don't care. You don't pass those. You don't pass up on those guys, even if you have a quarterback on your roster. It's as simple as that. Like I said, I like DJ, but you can't pass up on a talent like Caleb Williams if we did get that first pick. I doubt we do, but we'll see, man. If not, then I would like to keep building this O line if at all possible. Yeah, we seem to be investing in it, but we're not getting any results. And I think that's the frustrating part about the whole thing. We just took Schmitz in the second round. He's been good though. I mean, he was hurt, but he's been hurt for the last week, but he's looked good, man. So it's not really him. Andrew Thomas has been out. Bredesen been in and out. Izudu's been horrible. Marcus McKethan, he's been fucking horrible. Goddamn, like all these guys have been horrible. I don't even want to mention Glowinski. He's a fucking turnstile. Uh, I heard we had a couple guys in this week. Justin Pugh, who used to be on the team, we drafted him. He's trying to come back. He's on the practice squad, I believe. He might be called up. Lyle Collins used to be on the Cowboys. I know he's been in for a workout. We'll see if we sign him. But just an all-around dumpster fire, man. It's something I didn't expect coming into the year, but this is what we have, man. This is what we're dealing with. So we'll see how we recover from this shit. I don't really expect us to recover too much, but time will tell. We got the Bills coming up this Sunday night. Another prime time game. I don't know why the fuck we keep having all these prime time games. We had like 4 of them already and got smoked on every last one of them. It's just glutton for punishment. I guess the league just this is pick on the Giants here, I guess. But anyway, that's my little recap of the last 2 weeks since I haven't been home. I've been watching just like everybody else. Watching the same old bullshit, like every other Giants fan. So we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward. Like, share, subscribe, Fly Free Sports. Yeah, we signing off, man.